You're welcome. All right. Okay, so let's get started. So you're welcome once again to the Personal Development Impact Hub. This is the organization handling this training, and I'm just a facilitator for today. So today we just want to talk about something very dear to my heart. Something very dear to my heart, charting a purposeful career path, or how to chart a purposeful career path. There's a lot I'm going to be saying today, but I'll try my best to be as simple as possible, because I know that there are so many people on this call. We have people in 200 level, we have people in I guess 100 level, 300, we have people awaiting NYSC, we have people that have graduated, we have people that have even completed NYSC. So we have a lot of people, different category of people here. So I'll try my best to ensure that it is simple, easy to understand, easy to apply, okay? But I want you to participate. I want you to participate actively. I want you to, document your thoughts, get a notepad. Thoughts can come as I talk. Inspiration can come as I talk. Just ensure to document them, okay? So let's start. Remember when we were little, we had this mindset or this ambition of what we want to be when we grow up. So we're going to do a quick exercise, right? I'm going to put so I want you to type in the chat box for me. When you were little and someone asked you this question, what would have been your quickest answer? Or what would you have said back then? So I'm going to type a link. So you can type your answer in the chat box. So favor, please help me look at people that are actively participating. What do you want to be when you grow up? You are a 5-year-old, you are a 4-year-old, you're a 7-year-old, and someone asked you this question. Think back. What would you have said? What would you have said? So let's type into the chat box. When you were a baby, when you were still a toddler, when you were still a teenage, younger version of you, and someone asked you this question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I need participation or active participation. So medical doctor, okay. Who else? A banker, okay. I'm not saying now when you were little. What? Accountants, okay. You had big names, so nurse. Okay, let's keep the
Medical doctor.
Medical doctor, beautiful. Electrical engineer. I wanted to become I want to be reading out I wanted to become a doctor. Elizabeth says, exile. I am a fashion designer now. Okay. Abisola said, I wanted to be a pilot at first, then I changed my mind. I wanted to become an actress or lawyer. Wow. Edith says, medical doctor. Who else? Medical doctor, but I studied SLT. We like medical doctor profession though. Who else? What did you want to be when you were little? Engineer, favor. Hey. Okafor Mary Jane says, an actress, because people told me to do what I love as a hobby. I loved watching movies. Interesting. Khadija said she wanted to become a medical doctor but studied business and education. Wow. Chiwendu said a journalist. Okay. Elizabeth said a doctor, but now if Elizabeth, that's great. That's great. So I like that. So you can see that even right from when we were little, we all had or most of us, or some of us had ambition of what we wanted to be. Barakat said nurse, but later ended up studying biology education. Okay, interesting. So you can see that from this question, if you reflect, you had what you wanted to be, or you had a picture of what you felt like you would want to be when you grow up. But the reality, or the quick question is that where you really are now? What you wanted to be when you were little, when you were 5 years, when you were 6 years, or when you were 7 years, is that what you are actually doing now? And if I'm to ask you the question now, is that what you would want to still do or become? Because most times the idea of purpose can seem a bit confusing, because some people feel like, if I don't do this thing, or if I don't study this particular course, then I cannot fulfill purpose, or I'm not living a purposeful life. Or if I'm not doing this thing that I always wanted to do when I was 1 year old, then I'm not living a purposeful life. I don't think that's the case. And this session is going to help us debunk those myths. Let's mute our mics, please. Okay. So Favor, just help me mute people when maybe they unconsciously turn on their mics. So in this session, we're not just going to waste our time. No. At the end of this session, I want you to leave here with clarity and confidence. Clarity meaning that wherever you are now, you can actually decide to live purposefully to the end of your life. And confidence meaning that I want you to know whatever decision you're going to make during the course of this class or after this class, I want you to be confident knowing that you're making the right decision in the area of purpose. Another thing this session is going to help you achieve is for you to shift your perspective to long term. You know, when we were younger, we saw medical doctors, bankers, engineers as the top careers or the top profession that will earn you big money. And that's why a lot of us wanted to be those professions, or wanted to go into those professions. We had uncles, we had neighbors, we had aunties that were doctors, or they were bankers, and we see them wear their suits, and we in our minds are like, oh, I'll be like this person when I grow up. But remember, the motivation at that time may just be because we just want to own flashy cars or have big money like this person. But this session today is going to help you shift to a long-term perspective, because purpose, or living a purpose-driven life, is a long-term thing. It's not something you just achieve in 1 year and then you relax. No, purpose is long-term. Purpose is lifelong. Another thing this session is going to help you do is to inspire purposeful decision. I want you to leave this session inspired to take purposeful decision. One of the purposeful decisions that I took as I began my career after school is to help young people, help young professionals, young adults make the right decisions in the area of personal development and in their career. Yes, I may not be earning money from it, but to me, I feel like it's a purposeful part, it's a purposeful endeavor. So I want you to leave this session with an inspiration to take purposeful decisions, okay? I know we all want to make money, and whatever career path you're choosing, making money must be part of it. But we want you to shift beyond just making money to seeing purpose in whatever career path that you're choosing or you want to choose. So let's start with the story of Ada. Please confirm you can see my screen. Now use an emoji. That's fine. Great. So this is Ada. Ada every morning had two choices: to complain about a low-paying job or to use it as a stepping stone. One day, instead of grumbling, she decided to spend 30 minutes before work learning graphic design. Weeks turned into months, and her quiet discipline began to pay off. She started freelancing for small businesses. Her colleagues still complained about their jobs, but Ada's consistent choices were reshaping her future. A year later, she resigned, not out of frustration, but fulfillment. She ran her own design agency, employing two of her former co-workers. Ada realized that while we can't always choose our circumstances, we can choose our responses, and those responses, repeated over time, become the very foundation of our destiny. So the first point for us to note here is that you are the product of your choices. Write it down, please, in your notepad. You are the product of your choices. I believe that everyone on this call is 18 and above. But even if you're not 18 and above, maybe you're still in secondary school, as long as you are still sucking breast, you are no longer a baby. You are the product of your choices. You are the product. So write it in your notebook. I am the product of my choices. I am the product of my choices. So I'm going to read a quote by Wissam. Wissam says, the quality of your life is built on the quality of your choices. So that decision for you that you make every day to stand up and learn a particular skill, even if it's for 20 minutes every day, you're making a choice every day. And over time, if you're consistent with that decision, it's going to produce results. And if you decide that I'm not going to do anything, school is scam, this country is scam, everything is scam, nobody cares, nobody loves me, I'm all alone, nobody is asking me how I am. You see, that decision to not do anything is a decision in itself. That's a quote by Alison Dunn. He said, no decision is a decision. So you deciding to do nothing about your life, about your career path, about your personal development is a decision on its own, and you're going to reap the consequence. So you are the product of your choices. So what I want you to debunk, the mindset I want you to replace now is that quit blaming others for where you are now. Yes, circumstances may have happened. You wanted to go to a big school. You ended up going to a public school. Oh, yes, you wanted to be fair. You ended up being black. There are things that you probably did not have control over. But right now, the fact that you are in this class, it shows that you have a decision to make. You are responsible for your life. That is what I want you to leave from this particular slide. That's the point I want you to pick. Stop blaming anybody. Quit blaming nobody. Quit it. Stop it. If you're still blaming your parents for where you are in your life, saying, I wish my father is Otedola. I wish my father is Elumelu. I wish my father is Dangote. Keep wishing, keep wishing. But bro, face reality. Come back where you are and take responsibility. Tell yourself, Joy, Ada, I can no longer continue to blame any other person for how my life turns out. From today, I decide to take the actions. I decide to take responsibility for my life and to start taking the right decisions towards my destiny. So please let this sink in. You are the product of your choices. Those people you are admiring, they made their choices. That's why they are there where they are. So yes, you are the product of your choices. Circumstances may have not been nice, but today is a day for you to take charge of your destiny and tell yourself, I'm going to take the steps that are required. I'm going to put in the work required for me to achieve purpose. So yes, so that's the first thing I want us to reflect our minds on. Okay? So let's move on. Still with your notepad, I want you to reflect on these questions. Because before you talk about purpose, there's a lot of self-reflection that happens. So I want you to reflect and write. If you were to change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Write it. If you've done that, give me a thumbs up. If you are to change one thing about yourself, what would that be? If you are to change one thing about yourself, what would that be? Think about your character, your weaknesses, your environment. Of course, there are certain things you may not be able to change. For example, your skin color, your eyes, your ears. There are things you cannot change, but I want you to think about yourself. If there's something you would really want to change about, if they've been complaining that you sleep a lot, you are too lazy, you sleep a lot, you think it's something you really need to change about yourself, write it down. Don't worry, we are not going to see what is in your paper, okay? If you've done so, please give me a thumbs up. Remember, we're supposed to be participating actively. Thank you so much, everyone. The next question: what is one big obstacle that feels like it's stopping you from achieving your dreams? What is one big obstacle that feels like it is stopping you from your dreams, from achieving your dreams? Think about that one big obstacle. It could be money. It could be it could be, some people say Nigeria. Remember, we have already said that we are not going to blame anybody for where we are, for the outcome of our lives, right? So think about that obstacle that you really know that this is really an obstacle that is stopping you from achieving your dreams. Is it your environment? Is it your speaking skills? Is it your communication skills? You think that your communication skills is stopping you, or you are too shy? I'm too shy. I cannot talk. Is that an obstacle? Please write it down. The next question here is, if nothing were a hindrance, what would you love to be or do right now? If nothing were a hindrance, what would you love to be or do? If money is not an hindrance, if Nigeria is not the hindrance, if your environment is not, if nothing is an hindrance, nothing, what are you going to do? What's that thing you really love to do? Because many of us choose career paths because of money. To be honest, it's not because we even love what we are doing. We are just doing it because of money. So if money, that is like a general denominator, is not a hindrance, what would you love to be, or what would you love to do? All of these questions are going to come in handy as we move on to knowing how to chart a purposeful career path. Remember, I'm not going to tell you that, Obi, this is your career path. Oh. No, I'm not going to do that. You are the one that will discover that path, okay? And these questions will help you achieve that. So let's move on. So, some important terms to note. So what do you mean when you say something is purposeful? Can someone please unmute and share? Please, your background should not be noisy if you want to share. What does purposeful mean to you? Just need one person. Remember, by participating, it helps you learn more. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Abisola. I
Okay.
feel something purposeful or anything purposeful is whatever is fulfilling,
Okay.
satisfactory, feels satisfying, and makes you fulfilled. I think it's purposeful.
Okay. Great. So you use three amazing terms. You use fulfilling, satisfying, you fulfilled. So that's what purposeful means in a nutshell. Something that has an impact attached to it is a purposeful thing. Okay. So what about career? What comes to your mind when you think of career? And remember, this class is not just for white collar jobs, people that wear suits to the office. So no, it's both for whether you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, or you are a working class 9 to 5 person, or you're even a teacher. Whatever part you are in, career applies to you. So yes, what do you understand by the term career? Have you heard of it before? If you have, what do you think it is? I need someone else to speak quickly. We're almost done. I need someone else to speak quickly.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma.
Good morning. Still morning. No.
Good morning. Okay, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I think career is whatever someone does to put food on the table. And it's not just a one-off something that may take like years or at least years.
Okay.
That's what I think a career is.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. So, does anybody have another idea? Okay. So you're right. So yeah, career is just like series of jobs, experiences, and roles that you have built over time. Like you said, it's not a one-off thing. It's a long-term thing, right? So someone that is, for instance, that has been a teacher, person is now from a teacher, the person moved to becoming the vice principal of the school. From the vice principal of the school, the person is now the director of studies in the school. The person is now a lecturer. Then the person now is a professor. The person is a researcher. These are series of jobs. These are series of experiences. And this person has built all of these experiences over the course of, say, 10 years or 15 years. It shows that this person has what? A career. You could also be a business person. So it's just series of jobs, experiences, and things that you've done over the course of your life. Career paths now is now a planned progression of jobs and roles you aim to follow in your career. So for those of us that said, okay, I want to become a medical doctor, there is a path to becoming a medical doctor. Even if you go to university and study medicine, you don't just become a medical doctor after graduation, right? After graduation, you need to do your residentship, I guess, your residency. You have to do series of trainings. You need to undergo certain, programs and trainings and internships and the likes. Acquire the relevant experience, because what you learned in school was more of theory. So you still need that level of exposure and experience to solidify what you've learned. So you still need to like do this for 1 year, do this for the next 2 years. Over time, you can now confidently say, I'm a medical doctor. Same with other career paths. Say, for instance, you want to be a teacher. You have to, the first thing you need to do is to study the course, the education course. Then after that, you go for your teaching practice. After teaching practice, you go for this, and this, and this. So a career path is just a planned progression of jobs or roles that you have to follow to achieve. You have to follow in your career, not necessarily. You already know what your career is. So there's a path. in that your career that you must follow. So for instance, now I'm in human resources. As a human resource personnel, there's a path for you to follow. You can't just come and just call yourself a human resource professional. No, you have to follow certain paths. You have to take the exams, you have to have experience, you have to have exposure. There are certain learnings you need to expose yourself to. So those series of planned progression of jobs that you take in the course of your career is what makes up your career paths. Then charting is just like a map or a plan. So these are just simple terms for you to note. So what does being purposeful start from? Being purposeful starts from knowing who you are. Who you are. So this session is very reflexive. So it means that whatever we are sharing here, I want you to go back home and think through and don't just make decision because every other person is making this decision. No, think through and be sure that you know what you're doing and you know that you know you're making the right decision. So knowing who you are. So knowing who you are means understanding God's plan for your life. It is very, very important. God is your creator. He owns your life. He brought you into this world. So he has a plan for you. And I'm not just saying that when I say understanding God's plan for your life, I don't want you to misunderstand and feel like, but I'm not a pastor, I'm not a GO. No. I'm not just talking about that. God created you for a purpose. So for you to know who you are, you need to go back to God. You need to have that conversation, that intimate conversation with your creator to ask him, why exactly am I on this earth? Because a lot of us are so busy doing a lot of things. We are just learning so many things. But you know you can actually start with God, and God is going to give you specific direction on the things that he wants you to focus on. Today we are learning cryptocurrency. You are there. Tomorrow they say is what? AI. You are there. Next tomorrow they say it's technology. If you're not in tech, you cannot make it in life. You're there. You're everywhere, but you're nowhere. So go back to God. Simple. Ask him, what's your plans for my life? What do you want me to do? What exactly am I on this earth for? Knowing who you are also means knowing your identity. If I ask you, who are you? What would you say? Do you know who you are? Many of us, we just we tag ourselves to be things that other people say we are. We actually do not know who we are. We are still seeing ourselves in the eyes of what our mommy and our daddy said we are. No, you have to go past that. That's why I say a lot of people, because of the trauma they experienced in life, it's in have scattered their identity. They don't even know who they are again. They see themselves as that boy that will not amount to anything, or that girl that will not amount to anything. That's a wrong identity. That is not who you are. It is only in God that you would find who exactly you are and what your identity is. Knowing who you are means that you have to be honest with yourself to say, these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. So in your notes, you write, for me to know who I am, I need to go back to God and ask him. I need to understand or be confident in my identity. Who am I? Many of us feel like because I don't have money in my account, I am a nobody. That's a wrong identity. That's a wrong place to be. That is not how God sees you. You need to start seeing yourself in a way exactly how God sees you. If you need to pray that prayer for the next 1 month, God, help me to see myself the way you see me. It's going to change your perspective. It's going to change your life. A lot of us, we grow up seeking validation from people because we don't want to be different. We feel like, everybody now, they will be thinking I'm one weird person or I'm one strange human being. Let me be behaving like the way they are behaving, so I will not offend anybody. But you know deep down inside of you that this is not who God wants me to be. There's something God wants me to do, and there's an identity God has placed on me. So you have to go back to God, go back to his word in prayer and seek for that knowledge. So knowing who you also has to do with your strengths and weaknesses. So you have to take note of that. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Write it, be sincere, be honest. I'm not asking you to show me your notes, but I want you to be honest with yourself and take down all of these things down. Have that conversation with you. The next thing, be purposeful, also has to do with where you are coming from. Because you cannot lie to yourself. I mean, I know you don't want to blame anybody for where your life is, but you have to recognize how where you are coming from have shaped you, your background, influences, family, culture, environment. You know, I grew up in a place in Lagos where they call ghetto, a very rough area, you know. And when I meet people today and I tell them that there was a time in my life when I could not speak English fluently, it was pidgin, broken English. That's what we speak. If I tell people that there was a time in my life where I could not speak English fluently, they would think I'm lying because I'm not like where I'm not like where I grew up from. And that's because I was intentional about my growth to say that no, I'm not going to allow where I'm coming from to shape who I will become. But you need to know that where you are coming from has a huge role to play in who you become eventually, especially if you're not aware. You will just notice that you're behaving like your area, the way your area people behave. And you'll be wondering, why am I behaving like this? It's the power of influence, the power of the environment. You need to recognize how your environment has shaped you. Did you grow up in a place where if you make mistake like this or more, you'll be talk of the town for 1 month? Or you grew up in a house where they don't tolerate mistake. If you make mistake like this, they go use you do example for the next 6 months. That thing have done something to you that you are not aware of. That's why you are always negative about yourself. Any little mistake you make, you want to kill yourself because you grew up with that mentality that you are not supposed to make mistake. Or if you make mistake, you're a worthless person, you're a nobody. You need to know where you're coming from. How has my environment shaped my mindset? Or you grew up in a place where the dad and the mom are always fighting. In your mind, you'll be like, I will never be like this. Me and my husband will never fight. But my dear, if you're not conscious enough to renew your mind, you end up doing the same thing that you grew up seeing. That's just the truth. So you need to know, how has my environment shaped my mindset? Acknowledge the choices you've made so far. Maybe you've not made the right choices, or you think you've made not so good choices in the past. Acknowledge it. Don't run away from the mistakes of the past. Rather, face them and learn from them. Don't deny the truth. But remember, this is just a journey. So you need that information to help you make necessary changes to where you're going to. Please, if I'm making sense and I'm not blowing BB grammar, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Let's continue. So being purposeful has to do also with what experiences have you had? Take stock. When I say experiences, I want you to think of maybe work-related experiences, knowledge you've acquired, maybe through your school, through jobs you've done, volunteering, hobbies. You know, many of us, we downgrade a lot of things that we learned while growing up, not knowing that those things are actually very helpful in the adult world. We hear things like adulthood na scam. But is it actually a scam? If you actually had built the right skills while growing up, I don't think adulthood is a scam. It's a phase of life. It's a phase of life. Maybe you grew up If they never wake you from bed, you no go wake up. You be sleeping till 12 o'clock. They will literally have to pour you water to wake up. Now you are 18 years old and nobody's waking you up again. Now you have F9, all your courses in school, and you are saying adulthood na scam. Adulthood is not scam. Oh. It's you that have not learned. You don't want to grow. So take stock. What skills have you acquired? Cooking skills, organizational skills. You see how the way your mommy organizes things, the way she plans the family, all those things are experiences, but we downgrade them. Take stock of those. Maybe you helped someone in their shop, you volunteered in a school, or you were serving someone in their business. It's an experience. Whether they are good or bad, experience is experience. It is what you do with it that matters. What relationship have you built over time? Who are in your network now that you can say that if I need career advice, I know who to go to. If I need relationship advice, I know who to go to. Or if I need spiritual advice, I know who to go to. Do you have solid relationship with people that matter? I'm not saying big names, so good people that matter, that would help you make the right decisions. All of these things makes up your experiences. Being purposeful also has to do with what you want to be. Remember, we started from knowing who you are in God, God's plan for your life, knowing where you're coming from, recognizing the experiences you've had. Now, you know all these things. What do you want to be? What is that desire in your heart that keeps you awake every day? What's that burning desire? It could be as simple as, when we talk about purpose, we like to go very deep. It's not deep. I know of a lady that started a free school after graduation. And that was because she felt led to do it. And that's purpose. She may not be earning so much money from it because, running a free school is not a small feat. But you need to know what you want to be. Maybe you see young people in your environment, how they are living wayward lives, and you just feel this desire to set up a school that will train these people, or to set up something that will cater to the needs of these people so that they will end up not going the wrong way or going to prostitution and the like. That is purpose. It doesn't have to be deep. Or maybe you stay in an environment that is very dirty and you just have this desire to have a cleaner environment, and you can start up an NGO from it. That is purposeful. Remember, knowing what you want to do will help you gain clarity. So it's beyond just it's beyond just the job that you're doing, right? It goes beyond what is actually purposeful for me. So yes, even though yes, I'm a full-time 9 to 5 lecturer in a university, but in my free time, I go to a village to teach, young children that don't have access to education, or they don't have money to go to school. So you see, life cannot be so complicated, right? Just for you to identify what purpose is for you and what you want to be, and tie it together. Okay? Be purposeful now. I think we've addressed everything around that. If I missed out some points, we would pick it up as we go. So now that you know what you want to be, let's move on to the next thing. After knowing what you want to do, you know what you want to be. And purpose is not about you. That's one thing I want you to know again. Purpose is not about you. Purpose always has to do with others, how you're impacting the people around you. Okay? So ensure that whatever thing you're doing, the impact is going to be felt by others, not just yourself. That's what makes it purposeful. So now that you know what you want to do, please be writing anything that comes to your mind. Be writing, any inspiration you feel, just write. Okay. The next thing is for you to build a personal development plan. How am I going to go from where I am now to where I want to be? How am I going to get from where I am now to know where I want to be? I interviewed a very bright candidate this week, and the candidate was sharing with me how that before he went into the university, he had already mapped out plans on how he's going to get scholarship to finish his schooling, because he's not coming from a well-to-do family financially. I was surprised. I was like, really? How did you do it? Because most times, many of us do not have access to these opportunities, except you are in school already. Let's mute. Okay, apologies for that. Okay. So I asked him, how did you go about it? Like, how are you able to get this information? He was like, before he went into the university. Please, let's mute our mic. I hope I'm not the only one. Please, let's mute our mics. So he said before he went into the university, he went online, he searched for scholarship opportunities for undergraduates. He made notes of all the opportunities provided. He followed groups where they post this information, and he planned ahead. So when he entered into the university, first year, his family struggled to pay his school fees. But from second year, he already had the plan. He had already started applying way before time. So from second year, he had a great scholarship opportunity. And that was why he was able to, finish his schooling, came out as the best graduating student of his class, finish his professional certification while as an undergraduate. That's the power of planning. You must plan. You must plan. In fact, God's word says that when you commit your works, your plans to God, God is going to direct your paths. So God expects you to have a plan. God expects you to have a plan. And then he's going to now tweak the plan, help you to achieve it in alignment to his will for your life. But you have to have a plan. We talked about developing a personal development plan, SMART goals in one of our trainings. I'm going to put the link at the end of this session. You can go and watch that session to learn more about it. Another thing you need to do, focus on value over gain. I interview a lot of young graduates, a lot of entry level candidates, and you will hear them. If you ask them, do you have any question for us? One of the things they'll ask, or one of the things they want to know, is how much is this role remote? Is it a remote role? How much will you pay? And you're already thinking of what you will gain first. You're not even thinking of value yet. So calm down. The first 5 years of your career journey, you have to build capacity and value. Relax. You see, money is going to come, but you have to relax and focus on building value. When I say building value, adding value to yourself and adding value to the work that you do. So yes, I know you want to make money. I know we need to make money, and definitely we will. But don't be anxious so much that you want to make money at all costs, that you end up doing things that are not purposeful and you'll be regretting. I wish that I'd done this earlier. I've taken that path. So please focus on value, focus on adding value, focus on improving on yourself, focus on being a better you every day. See, if you increase your value, Money is going to rush you. The reason we are still rushing money because we don't increase our value yet. You know, increase our value yet. You know, if not, just focus on increasing your value. Increase your value. Another thing is think long term. Most of these amazing people we admire, Tedola, Dangote, Lumelu, many of them, go and check their business history. They did not just start yesterday. Some of their businesses are over 20 years old. Some 3 decades. So it means that they were thinking long term. They were thinking transgenerational wealth. They were not just thinking about me, myself, and I. They were not just thinking, in the next 2 years, I should have 5 billion in my account. Well, I don't know how you want to do that, but except you want to go the wrong path. But if you want to do something purposeful, you have to think long term. Think long term. This career path that I'm entering now, right? What is the long-term goal for me in this career path? Is it going to help me achieve a purposeful life at the end of the day? Think through this. Another thing you need to think about is mentorship. So the candidate that I spoke earlier that told me that he started planning about for a scholarship before he entered the university said that one of the things that helped him was he had people that were guiding him. Many of us don't value the people around us, especially the older ones. We think that they are too old school or they are too serious for our liking. No, this is the time to embrace mentorship. And mentorship does not have to be one big name somewhere. It can be someone in your compound that you're always looking down on. You don't know that that person can help you to your destiny, can take you to your helpers or your destiny helpers. So seek mentorship. Look out for individuals, your place of worship, your environment that are where you're going to, or they've walked that path before, and seek counsel from them, advice. You're not doing copy and paste, but you're learning from their experiences, learning from their counsel. There are many opportunities that abound, but it is in people that you get it. There are some job opportunities that it is that relationship, that person, that elder, your environment, your streets is the one that will link you to that opportunity. You apply. But just having that access to someone that is an elder or a senior in the field that you're planning to go into, or someone that have gone through a particular experience. For instance, when I wanted to go into the university, I reached out to a senior lady. She has gone to university before, and I was asking her a lot of questions about how university life is because I didn't have an elder person to ask. So anytime she comes to my mom's shop to buy anything, I will ask her different questions, both the ones that make sense, one that don't make sense, because I want to learn. Another thing is cultivate an agile mindset. Agile mindset means that be ready to change. Be flexible. That's how I've always been doing. This is how I am. This is how you are. And people have been complaining that you talk too much. And you are saying this is how you are. You don't want to improve. You don't want to improve on yourself. No, in our family, we have anger issues. We get angry easily. And you want to be the CEO of a multinational. That means you're going to slap all your employees because of the anger issues. No. Cultivate a mindset that is receptive to change and flexible to adapt. So when someone tells you that, you need to improve in this area because one person said it, another person said the same thing over and over again, I think it's time for you to make a change. Or maybe you're planning to study medicine and at the end of the day, you end up studying business administration. Don't feel like it's the end of the world. No, that's the time to wear an agile mind, to put on an agile mindset, knowing that, yes, I wanted to be I wanted to study medical sciences, but I am here now. So what can I do with what I have? Be adaptive to change and complain less. Another thing you should do is be receptive to feedback. Be receptive to feedback. Ask people, what can I change? Listen to when people complain about what you do. Don't just feel bad that someone is complaining about your character or your attitude. Ask yourself, this thing this person is saying, is it true? And how can I get better? That's how you receive feedback. Not that you shout back, that's how we are, that's how I am, I cannot change myself. No, that's not the right mindset if you want to live a purposeful life or you want to build a purposeful career path. Because when you go into the workplace, you're going to receive very, very, very tough feedback. And then you start crying because someone corrected you. So this is the time to build the mindset, to be receptive to feedback as you build a purposeful career path. Another thing you should also adopt is to document your journey. Document your journey. Very, very important. Document your journey. You may not have to post it on social media, but have a journal. Document your win. I remember when I started my first job in 2020, I had like an Excel sheet where I wrote down everything I was learning every day in the office. So I had the sheet. I'll write in one aspect, I'll put what did you do today at work and what did you learn. So even if I learned how to I learned how to use PowerPoint that day, I'll write it. Today I learned how to use PowerPoint. The next day, maybe I learned how to use Excel. I learned how to use Excel. So that's how I was documenting it, my journey like that. And also be patient as you build. Remember that building something purposeful is long term. So you have to be very patient. And the list goes on and on. Okay? So it's not just limited to all I've said, but as you're learning, you keep learning more things. Okay? But these are just a few pointers to guiding you. So I would like someone to share what have you learned from today's session, and what was that thing that has struck you the most from today's session?
Okay, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Purposeful today. I picked some few points while you were talking, but mostly when you said when you are planning for like bigger things ahead, you should also work on the person planning for it, which is yourself, like your character, because there are a lot of persons you will meet out there that would be complaining of that behavior you have, and you think you can work on it. So while you are praying for the next level, okay, you should also look out for those things people complain more about and work on them so it won't affect you when you get there. That's
Great.
what that
Thank you
for
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Who else?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Um, I think one of the things that actually struck me while you were explaining was the term you used when you said adulthood is not a scam but a phase of life, and I actually thought back in time, and I was like, that's actually true because in our life journey there are phases. There's childhood, there's also adulthood, there's when we were teenagers and all. And for each phases of life, there are like different things to pick up and work on. So I just like got from that is that at every point in time that things change, and I enter new phases of my life, what I just need to do is adapt, like you said in the concluding part, to adapt, walk my way through, find my way around, and never see it as an obstacle, or never generalize any phase of my life like people would normally do. It's peculiar to me, and I'm to find my way around it, adapt, and be ready to change and move on with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's so thoughtful. That's so thoughtful. Who else wants to share?
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Okay. One thing I've learned from this afternoon teaching is that we should try to build value. We should not run after money at first. Like even though like for the first 5 years of the face of your life, when you probably choose a career, the first thing you should learn is how to just add value to yourself, building yourself, developing yourself, self-development, not just running after money, money, money. Then after those times that you probably build yourself, then you'll be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve when it comes to money.
Thank you so much. That's right. Thank you so much for sharing. Who else wants to go?
Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon. Good
Yes,
afternoon.
ma. Yes, ma. You said something about being adaptive to change, and I can actually say that that is peculiar to me, because and you said something about being like seeking God in whatever we are doing. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes, I'm with you. Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
So I can say that that is actually true. It is true, because I can remember then when I was seeking admission, and I was about this medical course, and then I couldn't get it. It's not as if I don't have the score and all of that, but this thing keep pushing me to education line, education line, education line. So later on, when I was granted admission, I was granted biology education, and when I groom myself into it, so I now see that this is where I belong, like rather than going into medical profession. I hope you understand.
Yes, I can. I understand.
Yes.
I
So
understand.
I exact. So I that's one of the thing I felt in my this thing when you said it, that wow, this is actually true. It is so true.
Great.
Because exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing.
So now I'm pursuing. I'm aspiring to become a lecturer by God's grace.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful,
Thank you, ma.
beautiful. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma.
So you see that now that you already have a clarity of where you want to be, you can now plan, develop a personal development plan
Towards it. Exactly. Exactly.
set smart goal. We have a video of resources on our pages. When you go to our pages, you would see trainings, you see resources, posts that would inspire you, that would help you make the right choices. Any other person wants to share, please. I want us to share, because the more you share, the more it sticks. Chiwen Indika said, focusing on the value I can bring, developing myself, and documenting my career journey. Very important. Please, Charity, go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. One of the things I actually captured or like got to my attention was the other story. Do you understand?
Okay.
The fact that
Yeah.
things were tall, the salary was small, everything. She still did not, there was not this negativity within her. She just take everything as an opportunity to learn
Mm,
more. And yeah, so actually, I'm actually
yes.
learning different things. So when I usually look at myself like, is this not too much? What are you learning all this thing for? But coming to hear from other story, I've seen the importance of why I'm learning those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. That's so thoughtful. Who else? I'm seeing I can't really see the hands. Okay, Miracle. Olebube, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
This session has really blessed my life this afternoon because the time you said you're the product of your choices,
Hmm.
because I have many choices in my mind. Like I will always be asking people if I should do this one, if I should not do this one. But as you talked about, you're the product of your choices, and I have that. I am the one to say what to do to my life because it's my life and about all these things. So thank you, Ma, for the words that you spoke.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's nothing wrong in seeking counsel, but after you've sought counsel, take it back to God and have that one-on-one conversation with God and yourself and decide. And when you decide, move. Move. Who else? In another hands. Chiwendu, yeah, go ahead.
Um, okay, good afternoon, ma.
Good
Um,
afternoon.
I'm trying to Judy Pago.
You're
I
welcome.
I thank you, ma, for this section. One thing or the things I learned from this section is to document my learning journey, to appreciate my little wins. I don't have to. It's not until I get something huge or let's say eye-catching for me to now appreciate my wins. So I should document my learning journey and also appreciate my little wins and be patient as I build. I should be patient
Yeah,
as I build and also know what God wants me to do and focus on it
yeah.
instead of doing many things at the same time, trying to learn different skills at the same time. Just focus on what God
Mm.
wants me to do, build on it, and that way I'll progress. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Please, if you're not on LinkedIn and you're a career professional, please join LinkedIn. And if you know any application you think would be helpful for you, please join and use that as a digital documentation journey. You're learning this, put it there. You did this course, you put it there. See, just document your journey. That's just it. To come in handy. Okay, okay, right? Let me see. Who's raising up there? And Okafor, Mary. Go ahead. Okay. Any question? Okay, Okafor. Okafor, Mary, do you want to speak? You can speak. You're muted though. Maybe
Yeah,
she.
hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
I
Yeah,
can
sorry,
hear
my
you.
network is a little bit faulty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry about
so
that.
one of the things, or should I say, two of the things I loved about what you said was no decision is a decision, and also having a strong mindset. Like you might be having problems all around, but you just have like a strong mindset of where you want to be, like having a long goal, like you are kind of a focused person, like regardless of what you are facing currently, or maybe it might be family problems, it might be monetary problems and all of that. Just have a strong mindset and all of that. So I kind of loved what you said on that.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you. All right. Any question? Questions, 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 questions. It's time. You want us to be out of here by before 12:30. Yep. Okay. So I believe we are still meditating or reflecting on all that have been said. But feel free to reach out to me via DM if you have any question. Please connect with us on our different platforms. We'll be having other questions. Okay. We'll be having other training sessions. So based on your interaction on the group, you can reach out to me if you have specific topics you want us to address. We can also address. Let's see. Some people raised their hands. Who are those people? Who are the people that raised their hands? Just help me call them so they can ask their questions. Okay.
Let me unmute myself.
Favor.
Olariwaju Blenda.
Okay.
Means
Okay, yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for the section. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Honestly, you have said it all. But I just want to request for something. I don't know if the permitted, like, can we get the slide so that we
Yes,
can then
the recording will be available.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, the recording will be available. Yeah. Any other question? I can see.
somebody type something.
Okay, let me see. Let me see. Please, now, what's your take on focusing on other skills? Let me see. Favor, read out the question for me.
Okay, ma. Please, ma, what's your take on focusing on other skills you have built rather than the course of study after school? Possible reasons being that you aren't getting
Okay.
opportunities on your course of study.
Okay. So,
Did you get me?
one of the points. Yes, I get. Thank you so much. Can you hear me clearly? I'm going to answer that question to the best of my knowledge and experience so far. So, one of the things I mentioned during the course of our training is having an agile mindset. And being agile means your ability to change, your ability to adapt, your ability to move, right? So yes, it's possible that you have planned ABC at the beginning of January, but by March, DEF happened. Rather than staying there whining and complaining and murmuring, that's the time to put on your creative mindset and say, okay, if ABC is not going to work now based on what have happened, what can I do next to still move forward? So let me give an example. When I finished NYS, I wanted to teach. I want to teach maths, I want to teach maths because I studied mathematics. I want to teach maths in a secondary school or in a primary school. I went for different job interviews. Even the people that were interviewing me, they were like, you're a young girl, why do you want to teach? Why don't you go to the city where you have big jobs? I told them I'm passionate, I really want to teach. And I really wanted to, right? But COVID happened. COVID-19 happened and all school went on shutdown. So what did I do? Rather than whining and complaining that my dreams are not coming to pass, because God is not going to just focus on what God is also adaptive. God is very, very agile, right? So since teaching did not work, I know based on my interaction, that's why it's good to have mentors. Based on my interaction with a senior, a senior colleague, a mentor, let me just put it, one of my mentors at the time. Then we started talking. I shared my concerns. I shared a number of things. And he started advising me on certain things that I could start working on. So I decided that, okay, in the process of waiting for school to resume, I can start learning so skills. So I took up online courses that period, locked myself in the room from morning to night, except when I want to go to market or church or to do my other, because I was doing home lesson then. Except I want to go out, I'll be indoors. I'm learning different skills. That was when I took a skill, I took a course, different online courses, I was taking different online courses. I maximized so many free resources I could find. I was just learning different things, improving my communication skills, writing. Google has a lot of online free courses I was just taking. And then I was like, okay, since teaching is not possible now, I can actually, that's why it's good to have that reflection. Those questions I asked you, what are the skills that you have, that you've built over time, that is not even related to what you studied? So I realized that I was very good when it comes to people. I know how to relate with people. I know how to communicate. I know how to organize things. And I found out that, okay, since teaching is not going to work now, I can actually start another career path in human resources or even customer service. But I was interested in human resources. And I started taking online courses in human resources, asking questions from the person that is also guiding me and applying. So I made it known to people that these are the opportunities I'm looking out for. Please help me. And I made a post on LinkedIn on that fateful day after I've prayed and prepared. I'm looking for opportunities in these areas. I've built these skills, built that skill, blah, blah, blah. And that was how my first boss commented on my post and told me to send my CV. I already prepared my CV, everything was intact. So I sent it. And that was how I got my first HR internship job in Lagos. And I was in Enugu at the time. So I came down to Lagos and I started. How much were they paying me? Less than 40K. So you see, but I was excited because I saw this as a great opportunity for me to, start a fresh journey. And while I'm now doing this HR that I'm doing, I realized that I can actually still do my teaching. It doesn't stop me from doing my teaching. You see, what I'm doing, am I not teaching? I'm teaching. I'm now organizing trainings, teaching people, teaching children. It's not stopping me at all. So you see, most times, all we need to do at that time, at that point where it looks like our planned ABC is not working, is for us to apply an agile mindset and ask ourselves, since ABC is not working, something else must work. I must have another skill, or I can build another skill that will still propel me towards a purposeful career path. So purposeful career path is not a big job title. No. It's the fact that you're feeling fulfilled in what you're doing, even as you're learning, you're impacting others. I hope that answers your questions, Chiwendu. Yeah. So don't feel bad. There are a lot of people that are doing what they did not study. Remember, what you studied in school. I have a different mindset about school, right? School in itself, the essence of school is to help you develop a mindset that can solve problems. So because you studied one course in school does not mean that that's what you must do. No. Passing through the 4 walls of school ought to help you develop a problem-solving mindset that will come out to the world and solve problems, solve real-life problems. So if you're in school, don't just see it as, I just want to graduate to first class. It shouldn't just end there. Think of, how is this course I'm studying helping me develop a problem-solving mindset? Because for you to be educated, it means that you're thinking differently from someone that is not educated. So don't be restricted to, oh, I studied med lab science, I must be there. No. There are so many people that studied what they are doing, what they are doing now as their career or jobs. It's not what they studied. So school is just to help you develop the right skills to help you solve real life problems when you come out. So you see why you need to develop skills even when you are in school, so that at any point in time, you are ready to pick up any opportunity. So those are my thoughts. Any other question? Favor, you raised your hand. Any other question?
Sorry, I got my hand.
Okay. Is there any other person raising their hands?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Ma, for putting this together. So my question is, as touching being purposeful and focusing on the impactful parts and not like taking your eyes off the money making parts, but focusing on the impactful parts so that at the end of the day, like you will still get the reward, the financial results, right? But you have to focus on the impactful part first. So my question is as touching that, what if the my purpose initially has to do with money and finances? Let me like give an example. Let's say my purpose is to um feed the hungry, maybe feed hungry children, maybe feed malnourished children, and to see that they are able to move through life LD, something like that. You know, something like that will lead me to we need money to bring that purpose to light. I will need money to get stuff, to of course feeding has to do with getting food to feed the hungry and all that. So what if the purpose in itself needs something that has to do with you
Morning.
finances, yes. And since you're not supposed to focus on making money or getting money first, you're supposed to focus on the impactful part first. So how do we go about that kind of a purpose? Or any purpose in that line?
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I have a lot of people, a number of people, not a lot, a number of people that are doing something like that. They are in the NGO space. So there's this lady on LinkedIn. You can check her out. Aramide Kayode. I hope I pronounced her name well. She started a free school in Ota, Ogun State, and I've been following her journey since 2020 till date. So one thing I will encourage you to do is that in this kind of situation, start small. Okay, start small. And most of the time, this kind of jobs or career paths are around the NGO, non-profit organizations. So it means that even while you're doing your 9 to 5, that is helping you build your finances, build value and all that, you're also building whatever idea you have for those children on the side at a small scale. So you can pick one child at a time, one child at a time, one child at a time, and increase as your capacity increase. Remember, in the workplace or in your journey, your career journey, you're going to meet people, you're going to build relationships, you're going to access opportunities. But if you're not in the right, if you're not, how do I put it now? This thing that I'm doing now, this training that I'm doing now, I have my 9 to 5 that I'm doing, we are using money for it. We're using data, but I didn't have to pay for all of this. All I needed to do was to decide that, okay, I really want to do this. I really want to impact the lives of young people, young professionals, undergraduates and recent graduates, right? And I spoke to a senior mentor that said, please, can I have access to your Google Meet so I can use it to record the video and we can watch it later? He gave me free access. So we are recording this session now, courtesy of somebody. Yesterday, one of my colleagues my senior colleagues sent me data to run this session. And that was because I just shared what was that. My training is happening tomorrow. I need support. Oh, please help me, blah, blah, blah. And it came. So when you're doing something purposeful, I'm very sure that support is going to come, but you have to start small. A time is going to come. If we want to organize our trainings, we'll do it physically, big conferences, but that will require big, huge funds, which I don't have now. So what do I have? I have my phone. I can do training. I can beg someone to help me with so I can record the session. Someone can give me data. So these things do not cost so much, but I'm making the impact. So you can start small. That even though I want to own have this huge dream, can I start with one child? Which child can I start with? Who can I meet to support this initiative? As little as, certain amounts. If you have like 20 people that can give you 1,000 naira, every month to support these children, it's very easy to achieve. Do you get? So start small and build gradually. And as you build, remember, solidify human relationships than financial gains, because it is these human relationships that will eventually give you that access to those bigger opportunities that will bring those big money for you. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. You're welcome. Any other question before we call it a wrap? It's 12:30. So please connect with us. I've shared the links on the chat. Favor, please repost it if they missed it. Connect with us on Facebook. So what we do in Personal Development Impact Hub is to provide resources to undergraduate, recent graduates, resources like trainings, job opportunities, volunteering opportunities, internships, scholarships, things that you probably would not have known or had access to. There's so many things I didn't know when I was an undergraduate that I wish I had known, but not to feel any sense of regret. I'm doing it for others so that they will have access to those opportunities. So I share those opportunities. We share those opportunities on the group. We'll have training sessions from time to time. We have our pages where we post very insightful things that will inspire you to make the right choices, that inspire you to make. So if you go to our page now, you see job opportunities, you see posts we've made in the past. And so connect with us, and you can also connect with me as well on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active. Connect with me as well, and let's all grow together. So we're having our next training session, hopefully by the grace of God, sometime next year. I have a lot of activities lined up, but we'll take it one at a time. So I want us to go back home, assimilate everything we've learned today, reflect on them, and let's take action. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma.
All right, I'm going to send you a workbook. Yeah. So I don't know if it's possible to get an attendance of people that attended this session. I don't know. It's possible.
Or just a list of people that stay to the end.
Not necessarily. If I don't know if I would get that.
I was writing a list of
Names.
people that were, yes, that were
Oh, you know what?
at, but I did